what Neuralink is, because the last time you were here, we really couldn't discuss it.
This company, Neuralink, had successfully implanted a chip in a human.
I thought I lost him. But he's out there somewhere.
You want to go get your brother back?
Elon Musk trying to take over the world? I think so. How's he going to do it? With our minds. He's trying to take over our minds. The Neuralink. We all know what the Neuralink is. If you don't, it's basically a chip that goes into your brain, attaching all the electronic impulses in our brains. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should know what I'm talking about. The brain is basically one big electrical pulse.
One has the Neuralink. It's fully implantable. It is battery powered. It is wireless. All of this is being done over Bluetooth protocol.
It basically has that artificial intelligence in it. Our thoughts go into the artificial intelligence, then allowing us to make actions with our body. So really, it's really useful right now is the paralysis. It was finally just FDA approved not too long ago. Is being human tested.
In a GMA broadcast exclusive, Nolan Darbaugh, the first human implanted with a Neuralink chip in his brain.
It has actually shown that results have been positive in people that are able to move their bodies. People who have been paralyzed for 10 plus years are finally getting feelings in their legs. Now, it's not a simple, okay, I'm fixed, my legs move. No. You still have to go to rehab. You still have to get those body movements back, get that muscle memory back to going with the brain, mind-body connection, all that.
Ultimately does get a Neuralink installed, what will take place?
Well, for version 1 of the device, it would be basically implanted in your skull. So, and then it can interface basically anywhere in your brain. So it could be something that helps cure, say, eyesight, like give you returns your eyesight, even if you've lost your optic nerve type of thing.
Now I know, especially of lately that Elon Musk has not been the most influential person, not in the right way anyway. But I'm gonna glaze him for a minute or two, okay? No matter what you think about this man, no matter if you think he's money hungry, whatever, power hungry, all that, great, probably a thing. But we have to look at the things that he's done right. Okay, first off, he's trying to get us off this planet to be a multi-planetary species, which is kind of weird because he's kind of contradicting himself by making electric cars that are supposed to help with pollution, and that's the real reason that we have to get off this planet, is because we're destroying the ozone layer. So he's kind of contradicting himself. But now he's also going into the medical field with this Neuralink, which I think the Neuralink is revolutionary. So let's get back. Let's retrack here. We glazed Elon Musk, but you have to realize our brain is all-powerful supercomputer, runs everything in the world. And this is where I'm going to get into our title, our thumbnail. But if you can electronically program your brain, you're going to be able to handle all this, because that's all nerves and electrons going into your eyes, your ears, your legs, all that stuff. It's really just a bad computer with a bad processor. That's really all the brain is. And if you haven't seen this new movie, or not new movie, it's old movie, but Lucy, it talks about what your brain or the world would be like if you could unlock more of the brain. Because right now we only use about 10% of our brain.
10% may not seem like much, but it's a lot if you look at all we've done with it.
At a time, so there's different pieces going on, but only ever at 10% capacity. Even if you could get to 11%, you would become the most intelligent person in the planet. And it's scary to think about because it really is just one big supercomputer. Now here's the scariest part of his future applications, okay? Now, he's also hoping that the Neuralink will allow us to control our hormones and all our emotions, so ladies, that one time in a month, where it gets a little out of whack, you're going to be able to handle that. You're going to be able to control that. So that's pretty cool, because my girl get a little crazy. But where I really think it gets scary, okay, is that he wants humans to be able to talk to computers.
Also, I can control magnetic and electric waves. Not all of them, just the most basic. Television. Telephone. Radio.
That's amazing.
I don't know if you've ever seen any movie that has to do with robots. It never goes good when there's a human in robots. Never goes good. But to be able to talk to him, bro, would basically be having ChatGPT in your brain at all times. That's kind of cool, though. So basically, he wants our brain to unlock the supercomputer. So the supercomputer is going to be basically programmed into our brains. I think it's cool, scary, and probably is going to cause some issues. And this is where I'm going to roll into. It would create a human symbiosis? Symbiotic? Yeah. So you know, like Venom, but basically computer. Okay? So he thinks that you're going to be able to create Cyborg. If you've ever seen DC, that dude's pretty cool. He's like a genius. He can like collect data and like spit out data in a matter of like 2 seconds. So that's where he's thinking. But here's the problem with those people. Symbiotic means you can't live without one another. So once you attach it, if you would attach this Neuralink, are you going to ever be able to detach it? I mean, if you have paralysis, you're never going to be able to detach that because then your brain's going to shut down. It's going to close that wavelength. You're going to go from an i7 processor back to an i5, okay? And me personally, I'm working on an i5 so I can like not game with my friends. But whatever. It's one of those things where you take that step forward, but if you take that step back, it all collapses. Technology it can never stop evolving or it's going to crash. It's going to cause drastic issues like world collapsing issues if we were to just stop producing all technology, stop maintaining technology. Once you do that, world's cooked. Now, here's my favorite thing, okay? So, in this movie, okay, The Electric State, new movie with Millie Bobby Brown, I think that's her name, and then the dude that plays Star-Lord from Marvel, can't remember his name right now.
I stopped fighting because the war was his.
Brain emulation or mind uploading, this is the possibility of connecting your conscience to AI.
Upload what exactly? Mind is one of those words that are really hard to define. It's thought to be the collective abilities of your consciousness and intelligence, the thing that lets you imagine, recognize, and dream. Mind uploading is the hypothetical concept of making a copy of this inner world and transferring it into a computer to run a simulation of your consciousness. But even defining the premise gets really hard, really fast. The possibility of mind uploading is based on 3 assumptions. Assumption 1, your mind is in your brain's structure, arrangement, and biochemistry. The idea that everything about the mind can be found in the brain is called physicalism, and it keeps our discussion within the domain of natural law. Assumption 2, at some point, we will understand the brain well enough and possess the technology to simulate all of its aspects to make a digital mind copy. Assumption 3, computer software can host your mind, which means the mind is computable. There is no physical property in the brain, including consciousness, that cannot be simulated accurately, even if it requires a lot of code. All of these assumptions have been proposed and challenged by scientists and philosophers, and they remain the subject of passionate debate.
Combining them to be one, this is tricky. But here's why I think it's a possibility now, and they're kind of talking about it. It's more of a theoretical, a possible theory, hypotheses. But I do think it's a real thing now because the Neuralink is obviously AI. If you can make adaptive AI, eventually it's going to be able to take your thoughts. Okay, so AI can have a conversation with you. So in this movie Electric State, there's a computer that he uploaded his mind. He basically didn't take his mind to the computer, he didn't electronically plug them in together. But what he did is he basically allowed the AI to adapt to the way he talked, the words that he chose to use, and basically he had a son, but it was a computer. Your son has all your mannerisms and stuff like that. I do a lot of hand movements, and my father does. But it's programmed into you. So he basically programmed the computer with his conscience. Does that make sense? I'm probably losing you, but my bad. Now, here's my thing though, okay? This is where I think it really does get terrifying, is not only the fact is that technology, it's like a world advancement, but with every step forward that you take or any counterbalance you make, the world is going to find a way to balance it out. That's where I think if you take this step and everybody gets a Neuralink, the world's going to balance out somewhere, okay? So, in most movies, people lose their humanity. Balance out, cool body. You don't age because you're a robot. I think the future's scary because it's the unknown. We're all terrified of the unknown. We're what if I have a kid? My kid's dumb. It's a scary thought, but it's unknown because you don't know if it's going to happen. But You know, that's what's scary about the future. But I think with technology, people get scared because they've seen too many movies too. I do believe that. If you've seen too many movies, it messes with your brain a lot. Like, I've seen I, Robot with Will Smith. Great movie. But terrifying. Okay? Like, that's a terrifying movie. This Electric State. Low-key a little terrifying. If a guy could just control all robots. Okay? Because, like, it's still technology. And who are the most powerful people in the world of technology? Hackers, bro. Someone could just hack your robot, your body, your conscience. Your AI and conscience are together. So if you hack the robot, bro can mess with your conscience. That's terrifying. So hackers, you should learn how to hack. I should learn how to hack. So where I really think this movie is totally alike, and where I think Neuralink would end up if worse comes to worse, I think there's really great things, there's really bad things. Like I said, the world's going to balance out. In this movie, they have the kid, spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, they have this kid, they have a problem, okay? But they need this kid's super brain. He's got a brain, it's probably unlocked a little more, so it basically is, you know, top-end computer, but they actually attached computer to his brain. But here's the thing, though. They made the computer technologically to his DNA. So there's no Spider-Man without specific DNA. This kid saves computer. This computer saves the kid. That's that symbiotic relationship that human and technology would eventually have. And like I said, that basically that brain is adaptive, has adaptive AI to it, and his conscience and his brain is unlocked the supercomputer. So they basically combine two computers. I'm probably losing you there because I think I'm losing myself. I'm probably just rambling on right now. I think that's exactly what would happen. I think eventually the brain, people are going to realize how valuable it is, and that if you can basically electrical shock it to using multiple parts at a time, supercomputer, super brain, okay? I think that's where the Neuralink's going to head. I personally don't think I would put it in my head unless I really need it, because that sounds terrifying and very painful, especially if, like, what if I bump my head and it falls out of my head? I don't know. I think this Neuralink is state-of-the-art, the biggest possibility to our future, honestly, because I think if we really want to live somewhere else, if we want to save the human species of planet, we're going to have to get smarter. And not as, like, multiple people get smarter. I mean, as a collective unit, that people are going to have to, like, get smarter. So, like, we might have to adapt and put computer chips in our head. That's the end of the video, y'all. Peace. Love you.